if I scroll down one, as you can see here, this chart here, this shows you the usage. We can do it by day, minute, week, hour, month, depending on when you want to report on each individual piece of equipment and how it's actually being tracked. And you can see these big spikes and troughs. They're the sort of things that we look at to see that that's something that influences your peak demand. So when we see those come through, not only do we have the idea, the concept of being able to see what's happening on the chart itself and what your equipment's actually using, we've got the ability to put parameters around that, which means that each individual piece of equipment, we can say if its average use is here, I'm going to set an alert for here and an alert for here. So number one, if it starts to peak, we've got the ability to send a text message to your mobile phone or your supervisor's mobile phone, whoever's on at that time, that this is happening right now. On the same token, who's ever had a pool pump play up and stuff up just out of nowhere? They tend to happen. Things tend to happen like that. Like things that function on electricity don't just stop. Like anything, like your cars, they start to play up a little bit more before they actually stop. We've got the ability to trace and track that now. So long before anything actually stops and completely burns out within your business, within your organisation, we've got the ability to predict that and send an alert directly to an email, a text message, whoever you nominate through the business at that time that this is playing out. So you think of the cost of having that knowledge to repair that at that time, as opposed to having a big pump shut down in the middle of the night, having the pools dirty, having, whatever the repercussions are, having a lighting system that fails before the morning, before someone comes through and has the classes go through. So that knowledge, that understanding is what we can provide to you. So you can have a predictive maintenance and preventive maintenance schedule set up around the performance of the machines, not just when they should be done by hour, by month, whatever the case may be. So again, this is the concept I'm trying to impart, is we now have the ability to give you complete understanding of what's happening through your business, what's been the most cost of the business, long before it plays up, do predictive and preventive maintenance schedules throughout the business. So understand that this whole thing all leads back to my point number one. It's going to save you money through the business. It's not a huge cost impost in the business. In fact, this site here, we've set up for under $10,000 for 2 sites, 7 pieces of equipment for under $10,000. So as a cost to the business, it's not that great at all. There's grants, there's subsidies, government's on board with this sort of thing as well, obviously, and council on board with this sort of thing, obviously. If you can show that this is going to be a cost benefit for the business, there's a lot of those out there as well, which we're happy to help you out with as well. And we've taken this to the state government, the federal government, the Energixes of the world, and they love this idea because previously, energy monitoring isn't new. You've probably all seen energy monitoring before, but being able to get the granular type of data that we can achieve from this for you guys as a macro picture and a micro picture, number one, to be at a very minimal cost to save you significant money. As we talked about before with peak demand, if we eliminate peak demand on an $80,000 bill, and say we save $30,000 or 30% on an $80,000 bill, rough guess from the top of my head is about $28,000 thereabouts. $28,000 we can save just by eliminating that one aspect. So we can get rid of that, we can stagger start, we can program your pumps, your machines, your lighting to turn on, turn off at different points of the business. We set goals, we set points that we want to get to in regards to dollar figures spent, based around your tariffs, based around what's on that time, based around everything within your functions within your business, that we can get to a limit, a monetary limit within your business that you want to reach. So again, number one point, it's going to save you money through the business. That's a whole entire concept. Very cool to be green. You get the certification, you get to put that on your walls and your marketing, and we're doing this and we're doing that. But number one, absolutely number one.
Our peak demand is only probably 1/8 of our bill. Our actual energy usage is only about 30% of our bill at the moment. The extra things are your add-ons, like your state government taxes and charges, your carbon tax, the GST on top of everything. So our actual energy use is only about 25% of our bill. It's all the add-on charges that.
I can't do much about the tax bill, I can't do much about the carbon emissions. But again, you're charged per carbon emission, the amount of unit you're getting. As I showed before, we've got CO2 calculators on here. But it works hand in hand. The less energy you use, the less carbon you'll emit. You've actually got to track against to say this is what I'm actually using. So we've reduced consumption, we reduce tax, reduce carbon emissions, reduce the way pay on that. So it all starts with benchmarking. One thing leads to the next, leads to the next. So if we could get rid of tax completely, I'll get the first bloke up there. My next appointment's actually with my accountant. I'm not looking forward to that at all. But it's a necessary evil. So if we can go back to the presentation, Ron. So I come back to this slide here because my point being that all these little individual things, we now have the ability to monitor and control and give you an understanding of what all those pumps, change rooms, all those little aspects of the business that are just by the by but necessary to the business. We now have the facility to understand, control and monitor what they're using to the business, what they're costing to the business, and structure your business around those. What we can do, what we can't do. Because it's based around what you can do and can't do within the business. It's got to be functional to what you do every day that makes your company money and serves the community.